Good morning again, and welcome to our discussion segment this morning. And good morning, Anambra. My name is Sijoma Uche, and we are still rolling. In this segment, we are going to look at a very crucial topic. Very, very crucial one indeed. And the topic says, closing the gap in asthma care. And this is to mark the 2022 World Asthma Day, which was a celebrated May 3rd. To join me in discussion this morning is Dr. Afam Cyril Aneme. Dr. Afam Cyril Aneme is the head of the Department of Public Health and Disease Control, Anambra State Ministry of Health, Oka. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning, Anambra.
You're welcome. Okay, and seated close by is Mwamaka Arinze. She is a program manager, non-communicable diseases, Anambra State Minister of Health, Oka. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning. Good morning, Anambra.
Okay, so have you been here before?
No, this is my first time actually.
I'm sure Doc must have been here.
Yes, I've been here a number of times.
Okay, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
Relax. We don't bite, we chat.
Of course.
Okay. Now, World Asthma Day is organized by the Global Initiative for Asthma, a World Health Organization, a collaborative organization founded in 1993. And today we are still talking about it because I think asthma is an old disease, though this organization was formed newly. 1993 is just the other day. But to drive home our points, I would like to find out from the doctor, what exactly is asthma to a layman?
Okay, thank you very much. To a lay person, asthma is just narrowing of the airways within the respiratory system. That is the system that makes sure that we take in oxygen and bring out carbon dioxide in exchange. That is what keeps life going. Intake of oxygen and then removal of the same system, carbon dioxide. So in asthma, you'll find it's like a water pump where water is passing through. And normally when there is nothing obstructing the flow of water, water should pass passively. But in asthma, there is narrowing of these air spaces, particularly within the lungs. So when it is narrowed, then you find intake of oxygen being difficult, then removal of carbon dioxide in exchange also being difficult. But the one that is giving asthmatic patients more problems is removal of the carbon dioxide. So oxygen is life. If you don't take in oxygen enough,
okay, let's talk about the pipe. So who narrowed the pipe? Yes. If Mr. A's pipe is open and Mr. B's pipe is narrow, who narrowed it?
Yes, disease conditions or what we call allergies can narrow the airways in a response to some certain things we find in our environment. The air spaces gets narrowed. That's asthma. Spontaneously and naturally it narrows.
Okay,
based on
naturally, that's what I want to hear. So
yes.
Is it possible that somebody is born with a narrowed pipe?
Yes, such conditions, those ones are congenital anomalies. It could be possible that somebody is born with, for instance, some people are born with 6 fingers. Mm-hmm. Some people are born blind. Some people are born with cleft palates. This place is open. Okay. The nose is open. So any anomaly can occur as a natural defect and will come to life with it. The same thing can happen to any part of the respiratory system. Yes, but that's not what we are talking about today. We are talking about somebody whose respiratory system from birth has been normal. But somehow, from childhood, adolescent, and even later in life, you see some people reacting to certain things we find in the environment. And it begins to narrow their airways to a point that a doctor will say, this is asthma. And the treatment and control begins from there.
Okay. Reacting to certain things around them. Like what and what?
It could be something like, we call them generally allergens. Those things that can trigger narrowing of the airways. One is cold.
Cold.
In some people. One is cold. The other one is anything respiratory infection. You breathe in, because our air is not sterile. So our air can contain pathogens like viruses and bacteria that are in air normally. And once you bring them in, they cause you cough. And those bacteria causing you respiratory infection can narrow the airways in an asthmatic person. He reacts more than others to those pathogens we find in the air.
Otherwise, it's a natural phenomenon, because if we are exposed to the same environment, I react to it, you don't react to it. It means there is something that is not in order
Exactly.
with my
exactly.
system,
Yes.
naturally.
Exactly, yes. Something is not in order. But you don't know it from birth that you will react to this until you begin to.
Okay.
And then there's what we call genetic predisposition. Genetic. Some people, you see it running in their families.
That's exactly where we're going to, whether it is genetic or
it has genetic
contagious.
factor, environmental factor.
Okay.
That predisposes an individual to reacting to things that they may ordinarily not react to, or something other persons may not ordinarily react to.
That means
but those
that
other individuals
there is something
react
wrong with
to
the
them.
system. Okay,
Yes.
let me come to you, Nwamaka. We are still looking at the causes of asthma. Okay, to how we establish that this is a case of asthma, and a whole lot of things. What do you have to add?
Well, to my understanding, asthma is a common lungs problem or condition that causes difficulty in breathing. And some of these causes are, like my doctor said, talked about allergies, things you're allergic to. And some of those allergies, you talk about dust. The way people react to dust is not the same way the other react to it. Some people's reaction to dust can be just normal. Others, theirs now cause a kind of breathing problem. Some people, when they are exposed to things like pets, they react differently from others. And some people, when they are exposed to extreme cold, they react differently like others. So people that have such reactions are people that we can categorically say that they're having an asthmatic problem.
Okay. I know there are a lot of people that are having one form of respiratory problem or the other. I don't know, maybe some of these nasal issues. How do you establish that somebody is asthmatic? Doc, I'm coming to you. As in somebody that is always having a stuffy nose, or that is always exposed to, what do you call it, cold and catarrh and all the rest of this. Does this thing point to one being asthmatic as a child?
Yes, thank you very much. Essentially, to say that somebody has asthma is purely, essentially clinical. In other words, a doctor will have to make that diagnosis, and then the management and control continues from there. And there are things that will make him say it, that somebody has asthma. Number one is that there will always be cough. Yes, cough. You may have sneezing. You can see them having itchy eyes and itchy nose. Then you can see some wheezing. When they're breathing, you are hearing sounds like as if a pussycat is crying or something like that. Then, and then you have breathlessness. You see them breathing fast.
Always.
So, yeah,
Always.
most of the time, in a clear-cut case, you will see it. They will breathe fast.
Always.
Yes.
Not that is exposed to kind of pressure or whatever.
No. When it is controlled, their breathing becomes normal. They have their medications and have whatever they need to take as prescribed by the doctor. It returns. And then when the person is doing his normal activities, you won't know. But in a clear-cut case of asthmatic attack, you see them breathing fast. So it's also one of the symptoms. And then for us doctors, you may get from them that this is recurrent. It occurs. They take some drugs, it stops. They're exposed to certain form of treatment, it stops. So that's the. Then sometimes you get a family history.
What?
Family history.
Okay.
You get a family history that this other person within the family is having it. Maybe the mother, the father is having it. You see some family tendencies of the thing. Not a must, but you may see it. Then by the time you begin to examine the individual, you remove the chest. I mean, you remove the clothing the person is putting on. As a doctor, you're going to see chest indrawing. Person breathes, the chest is drawing in, out. So doctors call it intercostal recession and the subcostal recession. You see the chest drawing in and drawing out. And then you can see this place in the nose, flaring. Showing you, I'm struggling to breathe, I'm struggling to breathe, enough oxygen is not going here. This place will be going up and going down. Yes, these are things we sometimes see. And then with these things we put into the ear and the stethoscope. You will see a lot of signs. We call it wrong kind sounds. So these are the things that when we say, this person has asthma. Okay. The features may relate or may mimic what you find in pneumonia. May mimic
That's
what
exactly
you
what I wanted. Is the only asthmatic patient that presents this symptoms?
Yes, it's not only. There are.
I've heard of a case of somebody that was treated of asthma, but why the person is not asthmatic. He was having this kind of symptoms, and then he went to the hospital and they injected. What's the name of this injection?
It could be aminophylline.
That kind of a thing. Only to discover that that person is not an asthmatic patient.
Yeah. In the hands of a good doctor who has taken his time to take the history of the patient and examine the patient, after taking history and good physical examination, you are going to get asthma. Then you could go further to maybe do chest X-ray and see some more features. I was going to ask you, is it just physical? Is there any kind of test, clinical test that you go through to discover that this person is asthmatic? Yes, but it's always better to begin the processes of knowing whether this is asthma or not in the hands of a doctor. Okay. Because by the time some tests come out, life is lost.
Really?
Yes.
Scary. Okay. Namaka, how I know, okay, let me just ask you this. Is asthma curable? Can it be cured? If not, how do we manage it?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Actually, asthma does not have a cure. We only control it. And when it comes to the control of asthma, it's not just a duty that is left for the medical doctors. The person involved has to be fully involved first, and then the mothers or the parents of an asthmatic child has to be fully involved. Then as an adult who is asthmatic, it is your responsibility to make sure that at every point in time you don't expose yourself to the factors that triggers your asthmatic attack, and you make sure you have your relief inhaler for emergency situations if maybe peradventure you're being exposed to a condition that can trigger your asthmatic attack. And then for the medical doctors, they have to be involved because they will do the diagnosis, give the prescription, and then follow up with the treatment. And then for the mothers, it is the responsibility of a mother, having known that she has a child that is asthmatic, to make sure that the child is properly clothed. If you're going out with a child during rainy season, make sure you have a sweater or something that can cover the child so the child won't be exposed to some factors that triggers his or her asthmatic reactions or condition. So it's not just a duty of one person. Everybody that is involved in the life of that child, be it an adult or a child, everybody that's involved has to, at every point in time, be checking up. It's not left for the doctor. The doctor will do his part, the mother will do his part, and the patient himself or herself has to do his own part to make sure that it's being controlled because it doesn't have cure.
It doesn't have cure. So scary. Okay, doctor, how does one prevent asthma exacerbations or attacks since it must surely come if you're a patient? How do we prevent it? Because there are some people that have it regularly and some that you hardly know they're asthmatic.
Yes.
Is there anything they do?
Yes, there are things you must do, which is related to what my sister have just said. Once diagnosed to have asthma, then you must know what to do at any point in time to make sure it doesn't escalate and get you into trouble. That's what we call acute severe asthma. Acute severe asthma, when it comes, that asthma is set to take that life.
Oh, it has stages?
Yeah, we have acute severe, we have bronchial asthma. With that one, you can come to work and go when you have it. But you have acute severe asthma, it's an emergency. If you waste time, the individual dies suddenly.
Are there different types?
They're the same thing, but it's just that the symptoms are more exacerbated in acute severe asthma. The person cannot talk in sentences. Some of them cannot talk at all because oxygen is not getting in. The ones in the lungs, the carbon dioxide is not getting out.
Regularly or when they're having attacks?
When they're having attacks.
Okay.
In that case, you must rush the individual to hospital. He might require oxygen. Yeah. And you know, when they put oxygen in you, it means you are going to the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. So,
not me anyway.
So that's really serious. So, and you don't want that to occur in an asthmatic person. You don't want him to get into acute severe asthma where the tongues begin to turn blue.
Wow.
Yes,
that
because
bad.
carbon dioxide is not coming out and it has entered into the system, acidosis and so on. And you see the lips and tongues and most of the parts of the buccal cavity turning bluish. That asthma at that point is set to take the life.
This is scary.
And to stop this, one, you must be able to notice when it is getting bad and rush the individual to hospital. Two, he has to know what to do to make sure it doesn't get real. On no account should rain fall on an asthmatic patient. You don't have to go under the rain. Water is beating you as we're entering into rainy season now.
Does the attack have stages? Like if it's about to start? No, if one is about to have an attack?
No. If you're about to have an attack, you are going to be more breathless. You cough more frequently. A lot of sneezing. These are danger signs. Please move. Rush to your doctor. And then you must prevent that. Then if it's a child, just like you said, the child has to be well clothed. You don't have to go to where there is smoke. You don't have to go to where people are too many, where oxygen is compromised. Yeah, it's oxygen you are not getting in. Then you move into a place where oxygen is not enough, where there are too many people, like in a church, in a crusade. You don't go to such places, particularly when you're already breathless. You don't do strenuous exercises. Asthmatic patients are not allowed to do strenuous exercises. They don't. If they do, they get into crisis.
Really?
Yes. Then, those of them, unfortunately, in schools, stress from an undergraduate is what you cannot remove. As a medical student, each time we come towards serious exams, you see asthmatic students falling. They're getting rushed to casualties and medical emergencies because of stress of examination. Stress of examination. You see them having attacks after attacks after attacks. And then those of them that are asthmatic, you will always have your inhaler with you.
What is inhaler?
Inhaler. Something they pop it in the mouth, containing aminophyllin, some contain hydrocortisone, some contain what is it called, salbutamol.
Different contents.
Different contents.
How do you know which one to use?
No, the doctors will tell you now. You don't buy it, except if you are used to. Doctors have written the prescription for you. You already know. Most times you don't advise them to come to hospital to pick it. They will always have it. Asthmatic patients will always have inhalers. So that once they begin to have that sign of, now, the rate at which I'm breathing is becoming abnormal, they put it into the mouth. They put it in their bag. They carry it.
And what will it do?
It will widen those airways.
It will kind of pump in oxygen.
Yes. No. It will widen airways so that oxygen you inhale can go down.
Okay.
The carbon dioxide you should be expiring out should be able to go out. The problem is more of carbon dioxide not coming out.
This is one topic I have handled with a lot of fears in my eyes. Okay. You're watching Good Morning Anambra, and you can start making your comments or join us from anywhere you are. There's a phone number on the screen that you can call and ask questions. Okay? Ask questions or make contribution, or you could share your experience with us if you're an asthma patient. Thank you very much. Okay. We are still talking about asthma, and if eventually, I wanted to ask, does it have, how do we put it? That's the casualty level. Does it have any age that you will cross and you say that you are now safe? Okay, let me come to you. That you are now safe, that asthma may not be able to kill this person like they have, they always say in, what do you call it, that people in sickle cell anemia, okay, that once you cross this stage, the attack is minimal.
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, there is no age crossing or age overgrowing of asthma. The only thing you can do about it for you to be safe at all time is to first of all understand the fact that you have a problem of asthma. Don't expose yourself to the triggering factors. You don't expose yourself to crowd. You don't expose yourself to dust. You don't expose yourself to smoke. If you have friends that smokes a lot, whenever they should be able to understand that you have an asthmatic condition. So whenever they want to smoke, being that they are your friends and they love you, they should excuse themselves. And you as a person that has a problem should always at all time know that this is my problem, this is my cross. So I don't need to expose myself to this, knowing my factors, the triggering factors. So you try at all time to be safe. You check your weather. Your Google phone has made it easy for you to check your weather anytime you're leaving your house. So you know it's going to rain today. You go with your umbrella. You go with additional clothes to make sure that you are not exposed to cold. So that is the things you have to do as a person. And when you adhere to your doctor's prescriptions and advices, you just be living your normal life just like any other normal person out there.
Okay. Well, doctor, I saw you nodding your head. It's does it have anything to do with age bracket? That's the attacks. Can they come more when you are younger and then reduce when you're older, or the fear of death, or how
No,
does
the reason why there's no age factor to determine that, but it seems to be more in the younger people, because they're the ones we find it difficult to control their asthmas, because some of them are underage, some depend on the parents. So where the parents don't do the right things, you see them coming down with asthmatic attacks more often.
The children.
Yes, but in adults, by the time you become a person of your own, you take responsibility for your own life, you feed yourself, you pay your bills and so on. Those ones know how to control the asthma, so they don't have asthmatic attacks more often. So it is not an age factor, but because of their age and awareness that go with age, they don't seem to have attack more than the adolescents and the younger people.
I see. Okay, we'll take a break here. In a very short while, we are going to rejoin you.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Orca or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Orca.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install our TV decoder brand and tune to channel 315, or install any free-to-air satellite decoder and search for ABS TV.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803-388-8526 or 0806-883-9902.
ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
Alright, ndị Igbo na-ege ntị kwụ na ahụ na n'ebe anyị nọ kpọmkwem na Anambra State ka m nọ. Anọkwa m with Anambra Broadcasting Service. Oh, how ebe anọ. If you are not listening to them, if you are not watching them, that means you are blind. Open your eyes and see good things, and good things will come to you. Hey, babe, I want another one.
Back. It is still Good Morning Anambra, and this morning I am with Dr. Afam Cyril Aneme. Is the head of Department Public Health and Disease Control of State Ministry of Health, OCA, and Mrs. Wamaka Arinze, Program Manager, Non-Communicable Diseases, State Ministry of Health, OCA. I still welcome you to our studios, please. Okay, and we are looking at closing the gap in asthma care. And this is to mark the 2022 World Asthma Day that was celebrated 3rd May. Okay, all right. Let's now get to the celebration proper. So are there activities that were slated for this year's celebration of World Asthma Day?
Well, actually, they currently none, but creating awareness through radio, TV show like the one we're doing now. These are the ways, and we are like reaching out to our patients, because some of them, we know them, have their records, reaching out to them to make sure that they are taking their medication, playing safe at all time. These are the measures we are doing this year.
How do you reach out to them?
We call them on the phone.
That's all?
We call them on the phone.
No.
We go, sometimes we share the inhaler to them. We check up with their doctors and see how far they are doing. And then some of them are doing great though. Apart
really?
from the little ones who hasn't taken responsibilities of themselves. So we reach out through those little ones, through their parents, and ask them, when was the last time you take your child for checkup? Because we found out that the problem we have these days is that people only wait for when they have attack or when they have a situation before they go to the doctor. It's not supposed to be like that. You go for your regular checkup, even when you feel you are normal, but you still go for your checkup to make sure that all is well with you.
All is well with you. Yes, I was asking the activities that you slated out for this 2022 celebration, and she told me that it's only reaching out. Doc.
Yes, we are really reaching out, but we also have a more organized way of reaching out to people that have the capacity or have the tendency of dropping with the least expectation, you know. So, and what we have is that we have this social mobilization structure in the states that works virtually in all the local governments and within the communities of Anambra State. So we haven't designed any for asthma today, but in the past few days, because we know Asthma Day is coming, so we began sensitizing those people that mobilize and sensitize people within the communities of Anambra State. They do this mobilization mainly in immunization services to get people out to have vaccines for vaccine-presentable diseases. These are the things my department as a whole do. So I have chipped in the last few days that as we are doing mobilization for immunization, for this, for that, please include that people should know their numbers and that people should be able to visit their health facility as quick as possible.
Am I taking that as your last message to our people?
No. it is not really acceptable for our time. Yes. So we are giving the asthma messages using those structures. That's what I'm trying to say now.
Okay.
And those messages are beginning to diffuse now into the fabrics of our society as we speak.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, I was asking for your last message to our people. You're a caregiver.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You look very caring.
Thank you so much. Well, my message to the asthma patients and the world at large is, to the world at large, be your brother's keeper, save a life. We all have all it takes to give a reaching out hand or to give a help to the next person. And for my brothers and sisters that are asthmatic, please, at all time, understand the fact that you have a problem. Make sure you don't get exposed to your triggering factors, and try as much as possible to reach out to your medical professionals whenever you feel you're no longer comfortable with the way you're breathing or the way you're feeling inside. Always go for your checkup. Thank you very much.
Always go for your checkup is our take-home word this morning as we looked at closing the gap in asthma care to mark the 2022 World Asthma Day. I've been around with Dr. Afam Cyril Aneme, Head of Department Public Health and Disease Control, OCA. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for the wonderful time.
And then Maka Arinze, Program Manager, Non-Communicable Diseases, the State Minister of Health, OCA. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Go Simba. I'll say you're pretty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Ijoma. Do stand by for our next program.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.